Champions of the Realm, welcome back. We are now in round 2 of the NA Paladins Summer Circuit for week 5 of this lovely little circuit here. I'm joined today by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair, my name being Vox, Rainday being on a bye for this round, and the teams are as follows. On the left-hand side of your scoreboard, it will be Zenith Black, or rather the artist formerly known as Zenith Black, now named Beacon. Appoe will be on Grok, Mostfastest on Makoa, SnakeySnake on Drogos, Elocxle on Androxus, and PowTecH playing Pip. And who have we got on the other side, Nick?
On the right side of your spectator, you are fighting out of the red trunks today, will be Ardent Ascendance. Prylor's going to be on that Bomb King, Cerevok on the Makoa, Bacon 5-0 on Androxus, FrumbleFoot on Victor, kickerbs rounding things out on Grok. Now the first thing standing out to me about these two team comps is we've got Androxus and we've got the Victor on those two hit scans, really good anti-air to go up against the SnakeySnake Drogos.
And SnakeySnake, actually, though, protected by the Makoa shield, is actually able to do a lot of damage to Ardent Ascendance right now. You can see the grouping, the insane grouping come out, and Bomb King with that Makoa shield was unable to get a lot of area damage off, but Grumpy Bomb with the objective will zone enemies away for a little while. It's actually going to be a stun onto Mostfastest, but that's a very tanky Makoa. Won't be able to really get damaged by that. And then up in the air as well, Drogo's just continually providing area denial by dropping out big fire spit explosions and lots of area damage as well. Talk to me a little bit about this Drogo's, and you mentioned that Victor might be a good counter to them, but so far they've been very effective.
Yeah, right now there's just a really lot of good zoning coming out from Prylor, just constantly dropping these Grumpy Bombs in here, and the healing's actually getting good work done here, but Bacon 5-0 is going to be able to take out Grok, so that's going to be a lot of their healing now. Now on a double kill, Bacon 5-0 takes out Mostfastest on the wall. SnakeySnake finding Cerevok on the backside of that. Prylor is able to pick up PowTecH, so all of the healing for Beacon is now going to be completely shut out as they are coming back from spawn.
Oh, so Beacon really have to wait for the respawns, and SnakeySnake boxing out against Androxus is actually on top right now, but very low health. We'll have to stay out of combat for a while and respawn. The rest of the teams are respawning. SnakeySnake having already used the ultimates. No other ultimates charged on the side of Beacon, but Bacon 5-0 has a Cursed Arm, and FrumbleFoot has Barrage, and here comes the Barrage from Victor. Damage onto Makoa is good. Two-shot eliminated out of the issue. Appoe on the objective should get shut down as well as the Accursed Arm rains down onto that Grok. Overtime is ticking. No players able to get onto the objective, and SnakeySnake will fall before he sets foot there. First objective of the game going to the side of Ardent Ascendance with a stellar retake.
Yeah, kind of a weird little bounce and dance there back and forth from SnakeySnake there. It didn't look like he was quite sure whether or not he wanted to get on the objective, and as a result, just kind of got caught in between both decisions and easily picked off there without extending the overtime.
Absolutely. So no extension to that. First objective has been captured. Salvo raining down to the payload as it starts to push through, but no real progress right here. And it's a difficult situation, I'd say, for Ardent Ascendance to start pushing into the base of Beacon. And there's one primary reason for that is, oh, good grief, eliminated is Androxus. Ooh. And that is the fact that they have a Grok and a Pip on the side of Beacon. Now, there's been a change to Pip's healing potion in the most recent patch, which allows him to do 1,000 healing instantly to anybody hit by that healing potion. That's a significant portion of every champion's health pool. In fact, that's over 50% of some champions' health instantaneously, and combined with a Grok, with only 2 cauterized cards coming from Prylor and kickerbs, I'm not sure if that's enough anti-heal to really shut that sustain down.
Well, if you had to pick up anti-heal, they have definitely picked it up on the right champions here. Kickerbs with that Chain Lightning on the Grok going to be able to spread that very, very effectively. Prylor also on that Blaster-style character going to be able to spread this around, but we've got a little bit of a team fight. SnakeySnake's going to come out of spawn here with the Dragon Punch. Is not going to be able to connect on that. The defense will actually fail here. They are able to convert here, and that's an easy, quick 2-0 lead for Ardent Ascendance.
I just want to point out that actually what happened right there at the end, Prylor, sitting in free cam mode, I was able to see it, not sure if we got a first-person perspective, that Prylor used Poppy Bomb and went up and over SnakeySnake's Dragon Punch.
I didn't see. I was actually riding along with SnakeySnake there, and it was very, very bugged out and clipping all over the place.
Unfortunate. Although Drogo's ultimate now a lot easier to hit, right? In CB30, you got a lot more maneuverability there, so Drogo's can actually sneak around corners and catch you off guard a little bit. If you haven't experienced that, definitely watch out as we go into the next round. Ooh, 3 Wrecker pickups from Beacon. They're really having trouble with that Makoa shield, looking to shut it down immediately, but only 1 set of anti-heal. Again, really relying on that Grok's Chain Lightning from the Shock Pulse to be able to apply that anti-heal to everybody, although they only have 1 healer to worry about, so it's a little bit prevalent. On the other side, 3 cauterizers to deal with all the healing coming out from Pip. And the fight initially breaks out, and the high ground is actually being held by Beacon here.
Yep, so Cerevok with that Chronos and with this basically CDR build for his shield here is going to be looking to command a lot of attention. As a result, the 3 Wreckers have been picked up here. Now moving out to the team fight, it looks like Beacon have taken the first, but King Bomb coming around the corner, going to be able to pick up Mostfastest on that Makoa. That is their huge frontliner down. All of their shielding is down. That's going to force the retreat out of Beacon.
Now Victor's just going to be on the objective zoning for a while. I love the fact that Victor is now going to sprint and hustle up onto the high ground, looking for some long line of sight poke, dismounting anybody who does come on their mount, using the frag grenade for a little bit of poke as well. PowTecH going to force them back with Pip, but Pip's really not that scary in terms of damage this patch. His utility and his healing is really what the advantage of him is right now. And PowTecH instantly available to heal full Dragon Punch. It's being charged, Dragon Punch going in. Shell's been able to take Makoa out of danger, and that's a wasted ultimate from the Dragon right there. The next objective goes through relatively uncontested, and a 3-point lead is in favor of Ardent Ascendance.
Yeah, Mostfastest trying to get done what he can there, but he is going to miss the hook. Take a little bit of damage from that barrage there. Now dropping very low. He's going to be snuffed out. Going to pop the Ancient Range in response to try and just box this one out. Maybe a little bit of a frustration play there. Not much value gained out of that. Cerevok is going to take him down regardless with the support of his team.
And now as the objective or the payload nears the aura will start to approach at least the final destination, which is the conversion point round the backside. Bacon 5-0 looking for damage with the Accursed Arm, does get shut down immediately. All of the damage from the salvo hit him, but SnakeySnake actually pulled out of the air by Makoa. That's one thing which Drogoz does really have to be careful of right now, because he is very vulnerable, and I love the approach which Ardent Ascendants are taking. They're prioritizing specific high-value targets. They're prioritizing those who could actually deal a lot of damage to them, especially from behind us. SnakeySnake now is just raining down missiles, raining down those rockets onto the Grok, but Grok actually has an advantage here, and with Makoa coming to the rescue, that's the shutdown. The shield will keep them safe momentarily, but with Cerevok falling, it's a regroup that will need to come out of Ardent Ascendance this time if they want to proceed any further.
Yeah, Cerevok totally having SnakeySnake's number here, just hitting him with so many hooks. With SnakeySnake doing a really good job staying mobile on the Drogoz. Going to charge up the Dragon Punch here, see if he can't get anything. This will really help to stem the push, and no, it's going to be just canceled out here as he did not see anyone flying through that core here. Hooked out yet again out of the air. Cerevok is all over this Drogoz. He's going to be taken out very early on into this fight.
God, that's what makes Dragon Punch just incredibly risky right now, despite it being more easy to aim. If you Dragon Punch into an area with a Makoa, don't take out the Makoa, you've got no escape. Unless that Dredge Shot is, or unless that Dredge Anchor is down to be able to dodge the hook, or not have that available, you are under so much pressure. With King Bomb being charged right at the end here, there's nobody who can actually contest the objective. Elocxle in the air uses a Cursed Arm, but it's all mitigated by the shield. Death awaits you all. Bacon 5-0 returning now. Makoa is back on the objective, contesting for a while, and here's a chicken from PowTecH, able to stay alive, healing, helping out, but actually hooked down from Weightless. That's a kill. Mostfastest falls immediately to Victor as well. The headshot damage is just too much, and 4 points up are Ardent Ascendants within only 7 minutes.
Cerevok just cannot miss a hook right now. Just so clutch here, pulling high priority targets out of their movement abilities here, making it so easy for his team to just clean it up.
Right, and now as we go into the next round and potentially the final one if Ardent Ascendants continue their next streak, let's take a look at the burn cards. Once again, 2 wreckers already from the side of Beacon, but that didn't do enough for them last time. What I find interesting is we've just seen that new healing card picked up by Grok, and even more interesting, we've just seen Cerevok pick up a very peculiar card. That is Bulldoze. That is 100% increased damage to deployables, and there's only one deployable in this game, if I'm not mistaken, correct, Nick?
Yeah, it's going to be Grok's Totemic Ward, but that doesn't really have kind of the HP. I would think he is running Monolith 4, so that's going to increase the health of his totem by 400, but even still, I mean, this is a very squishy deployable. This is nothing compared to like a barrack turret or something like that.
Still, if Makoa can get in, and when Grok's totem is placed in the middle of the fight, oh, Makoa actually shell spun off the edge of the map right there. That's not a boon, Cerevok having fallen, but if Makoa can get in, and Makoa can one-shot that healing totem, immediately take all of that healing out of the area, and then they only have to deal with PowTech's heals from Pip. That's definitely going to give them a bit of an advantage. Mostfastest goes for Hook, though. Beacon is holding down the area, but the respawns are starting to come through, and look at the positioning from Ardent Ascendants. They're just hitting behind Makoa's shield, pushing out a little bit of poke, but not actually dropping too low right now. They're waiting for the respawns to come through before they really engage, and here comes the engagement. Cerevok in the midst of things uses Ancient Range, but does get shut down by all the damage. Here comes the Tempest as well in response, but Tempest is down, shut down by Victor. FrumbleFoot, though, from behind comes Androxus. No more kills for you. Bacon 5-0 does clean things up in the end, though, and Bomb King left bombarding Mostfastest. Dragon Punch through, misses everything. Bacon 5-0 under pressure, goes up into the air looking for some damage, but 1 versus 3. Can he pull off the impossible play? With a Cursed Arm, he might just be able to. Lots of damage on the Makoa, but actually gives up the payload as a result, as doesn't move in a Cursed Arm. And now Ardent Ascendants, they're on the back foot, they're on the defense, and Beacon have finally got themselves on the board.
Yeah, for the first time today, Beacon able to take the payload here, doing a really good job using all of their abilities to the fullest of their value here. A grenade going to come out. King Bomb over the top, actually. Really good position to start from Prylor. He's going to be able to pick up Appoe there before going down to SnakeySnake. Bacon picked up Mostfastest as well, so that is going to be most of the front line from Beacon gone for the time being.
Now, we are not at match point as you can no longer win a game off a single defense. So even if they don't manage to convert the payload, Beacon do not put themselves at risk of losing the game off one single push. As a result, this is not do or die for them right now, but if they can potentially push towards further equalization, it will definitely be a boon. In order to break the defense coming out from the side of Ardent Ascendance, is there any specific target that you think should be prioritized over any other right now?
Absolutely. So right now, what I want to see out of SnakeySnake, as he is picked off, unfortunately, by the Accursed Arm, I would like to see him with this Dragon Punch going straight at Cerevok, getting through the shield, taking him out early. That's all of their front line. That's entirely what they're being forced to play around on the side of Ardent Ascendance. You take out that target, your pushes are going to go much smoother here with that Dragon Punch.
Right, no shielding, but that means then that the 3 Wrecker pickups that SnakeySnake, Elocxle, and PowTecH have all grabbed are actually useless. Makoa has returned to the fray, Dragon Punch is not available. SnakeySnake is going to be in a bit of an awkward position, as is PowTecH right now, but the Makoa shield should keep them all safe, and actually Beacon is starting to advance. Something's changed for them. Oh, and look at that, the hook pulls them all in. That's a triple wipe right there. The payload is completely unhindered. It's up to Prylor, left alone to actually stop the conversion from going through, but they're taken down already, and now SnakeySnake's putting the pressure on Victor. Nobody's going to be able to contest this one.
Yeah, doing a great job just getting the spawn camp going here with the Salvo going to be taking out the Victor here. Does go down in the end, but it is too little too late. Really great job coming out of Beacon, being able to get themselves back on the board, not only with the capture, but with the conversion now headed back into the round with the momentum.
That's a completely different turnaround from the Beacon we saw for the first 2 objectives of this game. Looking at the burn cards, we go in once again to Wrecker pickups. Only 1 anti-heal, but actually is Appoe's anti-heal enough, or is it just the high-value target picks and prioritization, do you think, which lent the favor to Beacon last time? Because if I'm not mistaken, Ardent Ascendance on the objective looked very, very staggered in that initial cap.
Yeah, I think the anti-heal coming out on the Grok it's enough, you know, as long as your Groks are hitting consistent chain lightnings, he's going to be able to spread this anti-heal effect around efficiently enough to where it will be enough for, there's no other character that you would want this on for your singular kind of cauterize.
Certainly, absolutely. With the best area damage of the blasters having received a nerf, but actually Beacon come out on top again. Appoe picks up one with the Tempest after a chicken transforms one of the enemies. Ardent Ascendance on the back foot. Elocxle in a lot of trouble, does have reversal available to them. Actually wins the trade right there on very low health. And whilst Mostfastest is pulled straight into Makoa's domain, FrumbleFoot and Makoa aren't enough to, with Victor and Makoa, they aren't enough to shut down all of Beacon. They have the advantage here, and they're already over halfway towards capturing this objective. As you're saying, mad sustain coming out right now, and only 1 Cauterize on kickerbs with which to counter it. I think that's what's making the difference.
Yeah, beautiful totemic wards coming out from Appoe around corners, able to get full value from them. Good healing potions coming out from PowTecH, keeping everyone sustained while those are down. But kickerbs going to come out with the Tempest, coming out swinging here, trying to get something out of it. Does not get any kills here. Bacon 5-0 is going to pick up Elocxle, but it's going in favor of Beacon yet again here as we're ticking into overtime.
And it won't go in favor of Ardent Ascendance. They cannot get the retake as down in the back. SnakeySnake used Dragon Punch to take out Makoa, just as you predicted. Barrage off the mark right now. Does pick up SnakeySnake with the assistance of the Grumpy Bomb. Overtime still taking over. FrumbleFoot has to get on, but they're going to give this one up. That's the second capture in a row for Beacon right now. No, FrumbleFoot managed to get in there, but Polymorph, Cerevok on there, but Chain Lightning. Look at the damage coming out of kickerbs. This could be the comeback, but here's a reverse comeback right there. Put the points at 3-4. 1 more payload conversion, which they managed the last time, would equalize things out, and this could be the impossible comeback to as close as it gets, folks. This is phenomenal adaptation on the fly coming out of these players.
Yeah, coming out swinging there was Beacon for that take back there. It is going to go their way here. They are now only down a single point. A conversion here would tie things up headed into the last round, but on the backside, death awaits you all as a Cursed Arm has been popped. Bacon 5-0 going to be able to pick up Elocxle there, but SnakeySnake is hot on his trail, going to take him out soon afterward, and the brawl has begun here as this payload is pushing into the base of Ardent Ascendance.
I tell you what, somebody's got to cook up a storm to be able to protect their team and protect this payload push, and I think it's going to come down to Bacon 5-0, sitting on 18, 8, and 14. They are absolutely the carry on their team right now, and whilst the rest of the team is doing a great job at supporting them, you can see how staggered they are. Cerevok 1 versus 4 throws their life away with no support from the rest of the team, with no frontline Makoa on the side of Ardent Ascendance to really stall this payload push out, and only relying on Grumpy Bombs. It'll be a little while before the payload stalls out once more.
Yeah, kickerbs doing an excellent job hitting huge chain lightnings here in these fights, just putting so much pressure and so much just cauterize action onto the boys of Beacon here, shutting down a lot of their healing, which is what they're relying on to succeed in these team fights. When Ardent Ascendance does a good job at shutting down these team fights, they're coming out on top.
Absolutely. So as we look onto the scoreboard once more, let's take a quick check in at the ultimates which are available right now. And Ardent Ascendance holding a lot in reserve for the potential full frontal offensive that will come out of Beacon to be able to push this payload to completion. I'm really interested to see how that King Bomb ultimate is being used. We've seen it a couple of times beforehand to pretty much no avail in earlier games, but we've also seen it pick up double kills right now. If you can land it onto a high value target, it's very valuable. And that's exactly what didn't need to happen for Beacon, as that was a Dragon Punch that hit nobody. The man advantage this time in favor of Ardent Ascendance, as Beacon are just dropped like flies.
Yeah, Ardent Ascendance, they're kind of starting to catch on to what SnakeySnake's trying to do here. They see as soon as the Dragon Punch came out, nobody moved on the side of Ardent Ascendance except Cerevok. He shell spent around a quarter immediately as soon as he saw that charging up, because he knows he's the high priority target for this ultimate here. Going in, looking to convert this, they know they need to take out the front line.
Well, there's 8 seconds left in the payload push. Once again, Ardent Ascendance cannot net a win off this, but they will stall it out and not put the game at a match point for either side right now if they can stall it out. The payload is in overtime. That's Grok down already. It's looking dire for Beacon, as they are 2 men down versus the 5 still active of Ardent Ascendance. Makoa does pull in Bomb King, but Prylor able to poppy bomb away to safety. And as the payloads take repeatedly back into overtime, they're relying just on the healing beacon art of the sustain coming out of PowTecH and PowTecH alone. And it's not quite enough just to deal with the full assault damage coming out of the enemy team of Ardent Ascendance. That will be the defense succeeding despite what you see on screen. And 3-4 in favor of Ardent Ascendance is the scoreline.
Yeah, this triple wrecker is doing absolute work here. Despite Makoa being the target of that Dragon Punch, I think the wreckers are still getting that full value. Cerevok moved in with his shell shield up to try and get the overtime extended, but it looked like he crouched down into the shield and immediately got back up, as he's just getting absolutely melted through with all of these wreckers on the side of Beacon.
The rest of the burn cards coming through. Now, this is curious to me. Out of combat healing. Assistance from Cerevok, FrumbleFoot in the form of Veteran, which only now amplifies your already devastating out-of-combat healing, and kickerbs with a new burn card there, which heals you for an additional burst 500 as soon as you exit combat, instead of the mid-combat sustain with killer heals and life rip that we're seeing come out of Beacon. Now, I don't know which one's going to pull out on top here, but I think that we're seeing very brief engagements being planned by Ardent Ascendance, but Beacon are just looking to keep the pressure up for elongated periods of time, especially with the Pip's healing potion coming through. And good grief, that fire spit explosion that just came out of SnakeySnakes bopped everybody around. The chicken is fantastic. FrumbleFoot very low, should fall right here. Death awaits you all is up in the air. We've got Bacon 5-0 picking up a couple of kills there, but it's not enough to turn the tide. And the initial point capture advantage, despite being taken by Ardent Ascendance, will actually tick back in favor of Beacon.
Yeah, finding a nice hook there onto the Androxus, able to take him out. Bacon 5-0 is going to fall. SnakeySnake doing a great job in combination with PowTecH, just putting so much pressure. Nice fire spit coming out of him. This is really impressive Drogo's play here. From a character I personally didn't think was going to be that strong this patch, SnakeySnake completely showing what this guy can do.
Well, SnakeySnake also a lot more difficult to hit in mid-air, as if I'm not mistaken, the hitbox size has been reduced. In fact, the model size has been reduced as well for SnakeySnake, so he's more difficult to take out. And actually charging the ultimate right now, goes straight in, looks for somebody, shut down by Barrage in mid-air. No, still alive? No, actually taken down there. So Ardent Ascendance, they've gone for the retake. They're succeeding for the time being. Mostfastest is still there, but chased down by FrumbleFoot as Pipper on the outside. Pins it between two, does have the advantage. Bacon 5-0 goes in way too deep, and actually fighting against Makoa has no way of surviving to the Ancient Rage, and Ardent Ascendance holding on with just a Grok on the objective will be forced off right now. This could be the equalizer point right here if nobody else gets on and takes it into overtime.
Yeah, this healing coming out of Pip, once again, doing so much work for him. But Cerevok is going to pop his Ancient Rage in response, trying to get things done for his team. Buying a lot of time with his massive HP pool, will eventually go down, but it is enough for Beacon to get back on the point here and confirm this capture.
Well, nobody got back on the objective. Cerevok actually walked off with the Ancient Rage, putting him only in melee range. Has to chase down opponents, and we didn't see Prylor on Bomb King look to follow up. So all that happened is SnakeySnake dips onto the objective, round from behind, and goes, "Oh, 1 point left to capture. Yeah, I'll take that for free." Easy win right there. Ardent Ascendance once again on the back foot. 3rd defense in a row right here. They lost one already. They seem to have changed things around and figured out the defense for round 2, but they absolutely must make the defense if they don't want to be shut out with the fantastic reverse sweep retake right here by Beacon.
Yep, so now a little bit stalled out here is Beacon here, and running into the shields and the totemic wards, just keeping Ardent sustained all the way up through this damage here. SnakeySnake going to be trying to fire the salvo over the wall a little bit here, but all things told, not much happening as of right now.
Well, SnakeySnake has a lot of damage against shields on their side, but it doesn't matter as in comes. Oh, Dragon Punch hits under one, takes out the kill. Bacon 5-0, the next one to be under fire, but is able to dodge out of the air. And here comes the Tempest as well. Immediately takes out SnakeySnakes. There's a Ghost Walk to protect Grok from all that damage. Appoe actually comes out on top. Now going to be boxing out Cerevok as well as the Shell Spin just puts him into even more danger. Bacon 5-0 getting shut down, forced to another step away. Appoe very low on health, picks up the health nugget, should have sustained, but Prylor with the sticky bomb direct hit wipes them out in an instant. And Elocxle will fall. The defense holds for the time being, but Beacon looking deadly strong, especially with the record pickups on Drogos.
Yeah, Ardent Ascendance not wanting to give up this comeback just yet here. They are going to be holding the defense for now. Just under a minute remaining with still a rather lengthy amount to be pushed here on this payload. The respawns have started to come through for Beacon here. Prylor now being pressured out.
Oh.
The Tempest is going to come out just for him. Appoe going to pick up a double kill. Prylor, Cerevok wandered into the room and into his death. SnakeySnake now with a double of his own. 4 for 0 in this engaged. Beacon looking to clean up Victor. They will find him.
Oh, and Dragon Punch now being used, looking for the respawns coming through. Straight onto Grok. Kickerbs eliminated immediately. That's huge. It's not the Cerevok pick, which he might have been looking for, but there's no more healing coming through on team until PowTecH is back around. Salvo as well, only 3 shots used onto Prylor. King Bomb goes in. King Bomb with the instant triple kill, but SnakeySnake answers back onto Prylor. Still alive, barrage raining down, and even though that was a trade right there, taking out the high-value target that is Bomb King, now SnakeySnake in a lot of trouble, trapped in very small area, will be shut down, and Ardent Ascendance hold despite all of that pressure. What a fantastic clutch King Bomb play.
Huge mechanical skill coming out of Prylor. They're using his enemy team's momentum against them, recognizing the situation he was in. He was trapped in a corner with all of Beacon pushing forward with a lot of force there, and they basically just he used their own force against them there. They basically ran into the King Bomb there. That's not something you can look to set up. Prylor just totally being aware of the situation and capitalizing.
Absolutely, and this is what separates the good from the best right here, as you have to take advantage of these kind of situations. Now we're seeing the burn cards come out once again. 2 cauterizers this time picked up on the side of Beacon. They're finding the healing a little bit too much to push through, but it all comes down to the capture, and Beacon have held the advantage for the previous 2 capture fights. In fact, they took this. This was their first point for the retake right here. But they did it off the back of some very good early picks, and now immediately Makoa onto the objective, being held down by Ardent Ascendance up in the air. The shield is dropping, but here comes a cursed down from Bacon 5-0, doesn't find a single kill. No, Makoa has fallen. Beacon, they're on the off, but 2 players down. 3 players remaining, but round on the backside, they haven't got enough damage to push through all the shields, despite the triple record combo, without a frontliner of their own. Drogo's up in the air, trying to drop damage from range, isn't providing quite enough with that AoE radius nerfed, and straight into the mix is pulled PowTecH, stunned out by the Grumpy Bomb as well after that Dredge Anchor, and that'll be enough to secure Ardent Ascendance with the advantage for the time being, as Makoa, with Ancient Range, advances on the objective, trying to turn things around. Dragon Punch gonna connect into Prylor on the back of things. This could be the turnaround we're looking for from Beacon.
Yeah, Mostfastest now with an Ancient Range of his own here, looking to turn things around for his team. Already north of 77 points here. The kills are going either way. 2 for 2 right now. Barrage is going to come out, trying to find damage. Not going to find much there. Bacon 5-0 is going to pick up SnakeySnake. Death awaits you all. Popping it right on the ground. He's in a dangerous position. He is able to pick up PowTecH, however.
Oh, but absolutely worth. Now, Elocxle will be contesting, but Grumpy Bomb is there. Reversal is good enough to mitigate the stun for the time being, but it's going to be a trickle now. Appoe contesting for the time being, but even with that Totemic Ward and Chain Lightning, it's not enough damage to force out all 5 or all 4 of the players from Ardent Ascendance on the objective. Victor on the high ground looking for ranged poke, and that is game 1, folks. Only game 1 of Ardent Ascendance versus Beacon, but Beacon, formerly Zen, they're looking much, much stronger than they've done every week prior to this in the Paladins Summer Circuit.
Yeah, a lot of teams for me are starting to look a little bit stronger. We're seeing much more intense games come on earlier and earlier in the rounds of these tournaments. And heading over to the scoreboard, we're seeing just that here. SnakeySnake 30-19 on the Strogos, almost coming up on 200k damage. They're just barely shy of 190k, doing absolute work there.
We often expect the Androx's pick to be the one at the top of the scoreboard, but this time it is none other than the Dragon, and also that's going to be padded by all of those Dragon punches which SnakeySnake was able to land onto Makoa, which really for me were the sort of turning points in all these capture objectives, when SnakeySnake managed to land consistent Dragon punches, not necessarily taking out Makoa, but looking for Makoa and Grok primarily, or even Prylor, as Prylor's zone pressure and damage was phenomenal that past game. The tide turned in Beacon's favor. Going into the next game, knowing that this Drogoz is on the line, as Ardent Ascendance, would you look to change anything, or would you actually keep on running the same combination?
It's tough for us to say because we speculated going into the game that SnakeySnake on the Strogos would have a hard time against the 2 hit scans coming out of out of Beacon there with Bacon 5-0 and FrumbleFoot.
Look at Bacon 5-0 slash line 39, 11, and 24, actually putting a lot of pressure onto SnakeySnake, giving them the 19 deaths which they accumulated throughout all of the this first game in this second round of the Paladins Summer Circuit, but consistent 18 deaths across the rest of Beacon. You know, I feel like they're lacking a little bit in survivability. The pip heal was actually really helping out. Ardent Ascendance did manage to turn things back around in their favor, but honestly, it's too hard to outplay the Dragon Punch, shall we say. You can dodge, yes, but that relies on your movement ability being up. I think you need a more direct counter, or to be looking more towards SnakeySnake. So I'm happy with where Ardent Ascendance's lineup is, but I'd be cautious about Prylor. Despite that King Bomb ultimate saving the push and saving the defense on one of those previous rounds, he's no longer the force of anti-air, which is possibly necessary to take out the Drogos. So I got a thought for you, Nick. What about what do you consider maybe swapping Bomb King for a Drogos of your own? Going, if you can't beat them, join them, and as a result, having Drogos versus Drogos be a non-factor, but having all of that Drogos damage and one-shot potential on your team as well.
It could definitely work. Both teams electing to pick up only one frontliner in that Makoa sort of painted a target on Cerevok's back there. He knew he was a lot of the focus, and that kind of takes away from the mentality of what you're trying to do as a frontliner. You can't be scared. You can't be kind of like on your toes the whole time if you're going to do your job correctly.
Agreed. And either way, this will be a very nail-biting game coming up next, folks. It is a best-of-3 set in the quarterfinals of this week's Paladins Summer Circuit NA side. So we've got at least potentially one more and potentially two more games of formerly known as Zenith Black Beacon now up against Ardent Ascendance. Game 2 coming at you after this short break.
Hello and welcome back, Paladins fans, here for your Paladins World Summer Circuit North American side. This is going to be week number 5. My name is Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. I am joined by the British man himself, Vox Tempest, here, and we have your game number 2 between Ardent Ascendance and Beacon here after a nail-biting game 1. Vox, why don't you intro our teams for us?
The teams have swapped sides, so fighting out the left-hand side, the blue corner, it will be Ardent Ascendance, your victors from the first game, but it was very close. We got Prylor still on Bomb King, Cerevok on Makoa, Bacon 5-0 on Ardroxus, FrumbleFoot on Victor, and kickerbs on Grok. No changes there, and their opponents today, please.
On the right side of your spectator eye will now be Beacon, Appoe on the Grok, Mostfastest once again on Makoa, SnakeySnake again on Drogos, Elocxle on Ardroxus, and PowTecH on Pip. All the same things.
So no changes there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And still trying to make this double healer composition work. Salvo from SnakeySnake dishing out a lot of damage. Not shielded out by Makoa in time. Cerevok very low, forced out. And actually Beacon looking on top of things right now as they pull Grok back into the fray. That's a Ghost Walk wasted right there. And everybody is going to be poked out a little bit low. And all of a sudden, they will heal back up very quickly thanks to the healing totem. Dragged straight back into the fray as Cerevok, though, forced out immediately. But First Blood actually going to the side of Ardent Ascendance right there as they look to go for the retake. Just able to sustain through the fights through the Grok's healing totem alone.
Yeah, FrumbleFoot left completely unchecked there on the high ground on that Victor, just laying down the suppressing fire, poking people out left and right. Elocxle's a little bit separated from his team right now. He's going to be snuffed out by Bacon 5-0, who is going to be able to pick him off around the backside, looking like he's going to pick off SnakeySnake as well. He almost got him off the map there. This is looking really, really good for Ardent Ascendance as they're already up now 3-for-0 in this exchange.
Oh my goodness, Bacon 5-0 being rude right there, sneaks up behind Makoa, drops the Defiance immediately into reversal for the kill, and whilst we see PowTecH still alive, there's no team to heal up, and they don't have the same degree of area damage which they used to. The shield on the objective is good enough to stall it out, and whilst they looked strong, Beacon looked very strong at the start of that team fight, they got chipped down and down piece by piece, and Ardent Ascendance still came out on top.
Yeah, well, if the first game has told us anything, it's that we are not to be worried here for the side of Beacon. They started off pretty rough here, only making a comeback on this point. A nice hook, though, up onto the high ground. It's going to pull PowTecH off into the frying pan there, but he is able just barely to escape here. Bacon 5-0 going to go up into that accursed arm. They're going to pick up 2 kills, one onto Pip and one on the enemy Ardroxus. Going to be able to get himself out as well, so that's a free 2-for-0.
However, you can see that the payload's still not making much progress right now. Isn't being stalled out by contention, but with the damage being dropped by the salvos from SnakeySnake around the side, they're providing a little bit of zone and a little bit of disengage and worrying potential, damage potential, should we say, for the side of Beacon. But Beacon, the grenade from Victor is huge. Actually takes out 2 right there, finished off by kickerbs, if I'm not mistaken. Chain lightning from Grok doing so much work. Bacon 5-0 will be eliminated by PowTecH. The respawns have come through, but Grok will be forced to disengage from the area, opening up the payload push by a great grumpy bomb coming out of Prylor. And now with the respawn coming through from SnakeySnakes, is one Drogos enough to stop this assault?
Yeah, SnakeySnake really kind of doing the work there to kind of stabilize his team there. Victor's going to be picked off. Hooked in again is Kicker. That's going to be Ghost Walk down before the fight even begins. A nice Grumpy Bomb, though, over the top coming out of Prylor. SnakeySnake continuing to pressure down, but he is getting poked extremely low. He will fall eventually to that Chain Lightning. Temp is going to be coming out around the backside from Kicker, finding some good poke, but going down without picking up a kill. The Tempest in response is better, though, from Appoe as he picks up a double kill.
And Appoe with a healing totem down is able to heal up back at the full. Actually, that's going to be a killing spree right there. An additional kill picked up by Appoe as Chain Lightning and Lau looking to close things out of FrumbleFoot. Oh, pincered between Grok on one side, Makoa on the other side. That's between a rock and a... Would you describe that as a hard place or a
something along those lines there.
I'm going to go with spooky. He's got Ghost Walk on him. Grok is very spooky. Now, the defense is holding quite well for the time being. I like what PowTecH is doing on Pip, dropping area damage around the corners just for a little bit of poke and being in a position around cover so he can continue to drop heals onto his allies. But look at Victor. FrumbleFoot going completely unchecked right now as pushing forwards is Cerevok with Ancient Rage straight into the fray. Disengaged right there. Pip's ultimate not actually going to polymorph them as they are CC immune, if I'm not mistaken, during Ancient Rage. Prylor goes in with the King Bomb, wipes that one, shot out of the air as Drogo's in Drogo's Dragon Punch, and the payload will push through to completion, completely uncontested.
Yikes. Yeah, that all happened so quickly there. A lot went wrong all at the same time for Beacon, and that was all Ardent Ascendance needed to push that one in there. Now with the cap and conversion, they go up with a very, very quick and convincing 2-0 lead.
So if we take a look at the scoreboards, the burn cards coming out and the ultimate charges coming out, FrumbleFoot has Barrage available. You know what I'm half expecting right here is for the bait to come out from Ardent Ascendance. They might let Beacon onto the objective to stack up as they have done previously and potentially look to catch them with that barrage damage, because that's 1,000 damage per shell, right? That's a lot of damage all rained down. 3 of those, 3,000 damage, that's a KO for everybody besides Makoa. If you can consistently hit those shots, then it'll actually lead Beacon, even though they might feel they have the advantage to be in a bit of a deficit, but they do have a lot of healing on their team. They could sustain through all of that, as only Bacon 5-0 and Kickerbs have Cauterize equipped right now.
Yeah, like you were saying, FrumbleFoot, the only available ultimate for the side of Ardent Ascendance. They're going to have to get high value in it. And it's similar to the scenario you described there, but it is up on the high ground here. The Victor lays down a couple of the shots, finding some value. No kills yet, but pokes them out for now. A nice hook from Cerevok is going to spell First Blood, though, onto Appoe.
That's really important, but a reverse chain onto Makoa, not quite good enough as Makoa's not pulled up onto the ledge, so is able to shell spin back the objective and pop down a shield, able to stay very safe for the time being. SnakeySnake pulled out of the air. Cerevok, as you said, rightly on fire right now, on point with those hooks, dragging other players onto the point as well with those hooks. Mostfastest with the shield.
Wow.
Can't even make their way in. It's already too late. The point has been captured.
Quick.
A 3-point lead already for this side of Ardent Ascendance.
Fast. That was like the fastest capture I've ever seen there. Ardent Ascendance able to keep like basically all 5 members on that capture point. They're just speed capping that on them. They were poked so low there. A lot of good hooks from Cerevok, spelled the picks they needed to, and they just kept the remaining members so poked out that they were never able to gain any traction whatsoever.
So if you, this is similar to what happened in the previous game with a 4-point lead actually coming out for Beacon before they managed to go for the retake. But Beacon probably don't want to, give Ardent Ascendance the luxury of being at match point for over 3 rounds. As a result, we got to see them we got to see them put up a consistent defense right here, as it has tried to be broken actually. And part of what's doing that is the Grumpy Bombs coming out from Prylor right now are being thrown into choke points, stunning players out.
So
when Makoa's stunned, the shield goes down, and that just opens up the enemies or opens up Ardent Ascendance to be able to deal so much damage to Beacon.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job chaining their CCs together, landing hooks off these Grumpy Bombs here. Cerevok going to be pulled into a little bit of a precarious position here. It looks like Ardent Ascendance is going to have to be on the back foot for right now. Bacon 5-0 actually going to be picked off. Cerevok not able to bail him out there with that shell shield, and with that, it looks like Beacon have begun to stabilize for now.
The problem is Ardent Ascendance able to group up in their spawn together before they... Oh no, Prylor just failed a King Bomb miserably. Try to pop it up some high ground and actually get shut down as they reach the payload. But here's Androxus chained off the high ground in reversal for the time being, but being shut down by Grok. A lot of damage coming through, is able to nether step to safety. And once again, Ardent Ascendance being poked out by Beacon as they are distracted from the main event of the payload round on the backside. Victor and Drogo's backing out round on the back. SnakeySnakes with that close range damage. It's impossible to miss those rockets when you're up in your opponent's face. That's 1,000 damage per hit, boosted by 10% if you've just used thrust, and that will 2-shot a Victor in an instant.
Yeah, really doing a good job holding right now is Beacon. They've stabilized for quite a while here, almost a minute completely without much progress being made. Cerevok kind of allowing them to do so. Getting picked off there by himself. Bacon's going to be hooked out, but he's going to be safe for the time being, able to reversal another step away here. But they are just completely shattered the front line without Cerevok here. A great salvo, going to put a lot of pressure onto Kicker and FrumbleFoot, forcing them back yet again.
I just want to point out as well that all ultimates are sitting charged for Beacon right now, and if they can get away with this defense without being forced to use the ultimate, then it will be a huge boon as they can proceed into the next round with the damage advantage and potentially look for some very early peaks for the respawns to be staggered. And actually, Beacon, 3 points to 1, now lead Ardent Ascendance, but with the next round coming up, they have equalization potential as one capture here and one payload conversion, as they have proven themselves capable of doing so, would actually put the scoreline at 3-3. The burn card's coming out once again, and this is curious to me. Both Grox, contrary to what we saw in EU, going for morale boost for that 20% increased charge rate of the ultimate instead of Chronos for the more frequent healing totems. Talk to me about this, Pretty Hair. What's the logic behind that, do you think?
It could be kind of like a playstyle choice here. Grok, when you're landing good chain lightnings, able to get so much ultimate charge out of each clip of his ultimate. And now with the reduced overheat time on or increased overheat time, I should say, on that staff there, they're able to get a lot of value per clip, charging that ultimate, of having Tempest available just so often.
Certainly, although, immediately into the mix is actually going to be a Chain Bomb King shut down Cerevok. 1 versus 4 uses Ancient Range, but here comes a Tempest as well. The damage is good enough. Appoe gets the shutdown. No, Cerevok able to shell spin away for the time being, but unable to survive as they have been dredge anchored back towards the objective. That is too late. Bacon Vivo forced to flee as the respawns come through. What a quick wipe for Ardent Ascendance right there, as they underestimated the damage which would be able to come out of Beacon.
Like you mentioned, Beacon able to get so much value out of this push there. They were not forced to use any ultimates there to hold that defense, and as a result, had everything available to them. Only needed 3 to go with that convincing wipe there. Unfortunately, though, SnakeySnake is going to be picked off. Death awaits you all. A Cursed Arm going to be popped. Not finding a lot of value, as that was popped on the high ground, not on kind of a flank there, but still 2-1 in favor of Beacon. They're able to take this one. We've seen it before, and I believe we're seeing it again. The comeback is real.
Oh, and now SnakeySnake as well, able to respawn, get straight back into the action. As going out from the respawn room, they are able to jump straight into the fray at the forward spawn instead of right at the back of the map. But they weren't even needed for that last engagement. Honestly, they acted more like bait there, being right at the forefront of the fight, being taken out very early. But by doing so, forcing Ardent Ascendance to overextend for that kill a little bit.
Yeah, Mostfastest is going to be coming out with that Ancient Rage, really not finding a lot of value there. Only hit 1 target there after the hook, was able to find 1 hit onto Bomb King, but that was all she wrote here. All things told, Beacon's still able to push forward here. The little bit of, they're trying to find their footing here in their base, though, on the side of Ardent Ascendance to kind of stem this push.
It appears that Beacon have really taken the title now of comeback kings, and you know they're not just coming back into this game. They want to come back into the Paladins Summer Circuit, having a pretty lackluster performance through most rounds so far. Dragon's Fury straight onto the low HP Makoa, but still a dead Makoa. Now Barrage is being used by Ardent Ascendance, looking for some damage. Only finds 2 hits that connect. That is a huge stun onto Pip though, taken down immediately as PowTecH. SnakeySnake turns things around with the pressure onto Bomb King though. Now Victor runs straight in, but hit by the fire split explosion. FrumbleFoot in a lot of trouble, being shut down. 2-shot. Here comes the Tempest as well, looking for the triple kill. Kickerbs returns with the Tempest as well. Ancient Rage coming out of Cerevok as well. That's enough to stall for the time being, but nobody's on the payload. Kickerbs, he's going to get there in time into the Ghost Walk, just in time to save it. No backdoor for you, they say to SnakeySnake, as the hold of the very crux of defeat right there, and the comeback has been squashed for now.
SnakeySnake for MVP right now. He stayed alive for so long there. He may have actually been able to confirm that push there if he stayed on the payload. He kind of floated over Grok's head and switched positions with him, trading out the more favorable position. Maybe. But we'll see. They still have plenty of time here, just under 40 seconds here into this push. They find an early pick on Androxus, and this could be what they need to finish out.
What's key here for me is that SnakeySnake has Dragon Punch available, Evil Mojo. That Polymorph is available also for Pip up in the air. SnakeySnake but pulled straight into Makoa. Half health already. The Fire Split Explosion disengages enough. Here comes a Polymorph as well. Transformed into Cerevok. 2 quick kills. Bomb King down as well. Dragon Punch coming through. Looking for the damage. Can't find anybody. Cancelled out now, as that is a mechanic that has just been introduced. And nobody's on the payload. Androx is too far away. Victor taken down. And that is the equalization. 3-3 is the scoreboard right now at 12 minutes into the game. The comeback kings.
Yeah, once they figure it out, Beacon looking so strong, they're able to kind of split up the defense of Ardent Ascendance and get them scrambling and frustrated. They're able to push that one through, and now all things tied up. They're going to be coming out with the burn cards here. Most of the players on both teams are 3-slotted. A couple of members on Ardent Ascendance, though, who can only afford to get the 2-slot online.
Actually, most members from Ardent Ascendance can only afford to get 2-slot online, and that's going to give the advantage right here, as we're seeing no damage cards, no damage burn cards being prioritized by Ardent Ascendance. And on the other side, we're seeing damage cards, 3 Wreckers being picked up by Beacon to take down that Makoa shield very early. It should be noted that only 1 ultimate is available on both sides, FrumbleFoot with the Barrage, Elocxle with the Accursed Arm, but up on the high ground, it's the advantage once again going to Beacon. We saw this the last time, though. The damage was good enough, the hold was good enough, but the salvo is just so much damage onto the objective, decimated our Ardent Ascendants. They severely underestimated their foe, and they put themselves in a very vulnerable position right there as the full team wipe comes through for Beacon.
I mean, damn, that was the salvo pretty much spelled everything. They're able to pick up a kill and put others so low at critical HP. They're completely forcing them out. A little bit of a blunder for me was the shell shield coming out so early. The shell shield was popped before anybody was really even envisioned, and as a result, the duration just expired before any damage was even absorbed.
And then salvo into a grouped-up group of enemies. Well, there is no better food for Drogos right now. SnakeySnake as well, capitalizing on the chain coming out from Makoa. Dragon's Fury coming through, misses everybody. Unfortunately, not going to find one at all, but Tempest goes out, shut down. Prylor on the objective, holding it down, taken out by Pip, and up in the air. Grumpy Bomb not effective onto SnakeySnakes, who is able to box out against Bacon 5-0, getting the better of that trade, despite having the, shall we say, weakest standpoint in the air.
Sure, yeah. Despite going against the favored matchup there, SnakeySnake coming out on top of that one. A great Evo Mojo in that last fight there, able to spell a lot of Tempest value coming out as well. An early pick, though, unfortunately, Cerevok is going to be able to hook that enemy Makoa in and kind of stem this push for now as their frontliner has now fallen.
This is really important, as the main thing that Makoa is providing in these fights is actually a shield, not just to the area damage coming out from the teams, but there isn't much area damage on the side of Ardent Ascendant. It's more about the chain lightning, the spread damage, and that's a triple kill coming right out there for Ardent Ascendants as they hold the payload in the primary choke point of this map, coming straight out of spawn between the two buildings right here. Prylor looking for people, has Grumpy Bomb available to zone, but is going to maybe look for a King Bomb defense once again if the heat turns up too much.
Yeah, Ardent Ascendants now, despite being up early in this game and in game one, find themselves down in this game. Not a feeling they're really familiar with here, as now Beacon have put themselves in a position to take this game and take the set. Or not take the set, excuse me.
Oh, and Dragon's Fury comes through. Dragon's Fury gonna hit nobody. Straight around the back is SnakeySnake.
Find themselves down in this game. Not a feeling they're really familiar with here, as now Beacon have put themselves in a position to take this game and take the set. Or not take the set, excuse me.
Oh, and Dragon's Fury comes through. Dragon's Fury gonna hit nobody. Straight around the back is SnakeySnake, but the salvo damage is good onto 3 right now. Cerevok pulls them in. No elimination coming through. Tempest is good enough for the double kill. Shutdown right there. Kickerbs keeping the dream alive for the team, but actually forced out. Also up in the air, Bacon at 5-0. Accursed Arm comes down, waiting for Makoa's shield to drop. Damage onto Makoa is good, but not enough for the kill. Pip still able to stay alive and heal up the team very rapidly, but a good defense with a lot of ultimates traded on either side right there, and the payload is stalled out with 53 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, Ardent Ascendant is more than comfortable to hold out in this choke point. They're using a lot of these corridors and these tight buildings to their advantage here. Grumpy Bomb doing so much work for them right now, just keeping everyone zoned out and away. But the boys of Beacon have begun to move in here. Drogos is boosted, trying to find some poke with that salvo, not finding as much value as he did, but a nice hook onto the high ground. He is going to pull SnakeySnake out. He has no boost available to him, but he's allowed to just walk out. No further aggression. Bacon 5-0 is on the backline here, but he is going to be snuffed out here, and he is focused down very quickly.
Prylor, though, actually kept that in the favor right there of the defending team, Ardent Ascendance, with a triple Grumpy Bomb stun. Nobody seems to be paying attention to these Grumpy Bombs in this game, and when Ardent Ascendants get them off in choke points, it provides them with a significant advantage. Stuns in the game with no counterplay to CC, that being removed off of movement abilities back in CB29 is so devastating. So you have to pay attention to what's around you. The defense is good. And 4-4 is the scoreline right now. It's gone all the way once more. The winner of this capture point could potentially take it all if it's Ardent Ascendants, or force it to game 3 if it's Beacon. And with the comeback Kings acquiring their new title, I think they can make it all the way.
Yeah, like you said, Prylor running that Chronos in conjunction with Countdown 4. This is going to reduce the cooldown of his Grumpy Bomb. They're just looking to just continuously zone people out. And this is kind of different than the build we saw in CB29. A lot of Bomb Kings would sort of focus on that Poppy Bomb build just being extremely mobile here. But with all of the corridors and closed quarters here, Bomb Kings are finding themselves, they're finding the shelter that they need. They're not needing this mobility as much as just all of these Grumpy Bombs. And I feel like Ardent Ascendant is just not used, or Beacon, excuse me, is just not quite used to all of these Grumpy Bombs yet.
Exactly. I don't think they've adapted too well to all the Grumpy Bomb play. You can see though, damage coming out on both sides. So much spread damage and so much value out of that chain lightning right there. Cerevok actually pushing the front line now. Now on the backside, looking for players
What a
left
wipe.
to slay with that Ancient Rage. Doesn't find anybody right there, and that is advantage to Beacon as they look to close things out.
Yeah, so Ardent Ascendance climbing now north of 50 points here, looking to zone them out. Beacon just now getting outside of their spawn here. The Grumpy Bomb is going to come out deep into the backline. Not going to find anyone. Dragon's Punch coming out, though. Going to be finding a kill on a Prylor, shutting down the Bomb King. Evo Mojo comes out in conjunction with that. Cerevok has been picked off. This is looking like a very strong take back for Beacon.
Oh, you thought I was wrong when I said advantage to Beacon right there, but they had the retake potential. And actually what happened here, it might be coincidence, it might be an incredible bait as ultimates were used on the initial push and the initial capture by Ardent Ascendance, which allowed Beacon to come in with their own ultimates with no counterplay coming through, no big ultimates, no area damage, no Ancient Rage to survive the Tempest. And the wipe came through. Now all they have to do is hold the Victor damage, is not effective onto the objective, but kickerbs certainly is with all of that chain lightning. Once again, Makoa's shield keeping the team safe for the time being. King Bomb goes in, triple kill immediately for Prylor. Does get shut down a return, but on the backside, Bacon 5-0 does in deep. Now, Mostfastest off the objective. That's going to be a defiant shot to the back of the head. Should be shut down right here. Kickers with the Tempest. Cleans things up. That's a full wipe. And Ardent Ascendance, they still come out on top right at the end there, off the back of Prylor with their second King Bomb triple kill of the series and will advance to the semifinals.
Dude, that's just got to feel bad. Prylor coming in hot around that corner with the King Bomb, and the boys on Beacon were not able to respond fast enough as a result. Just an absolute explosive finish, if you will.
Pardon the pun right there, my friend. I am sorry. You've got me hook, line, and sinker. Either way, we'll be getting through to the scoreboard screen in just a moment, folks, and we will be able to take you through some stats. We do very much hope in just a second. Pretty hair, tell me, have you got the scoreboard up on screen there for you?
I am actually full black screened out right now, but we can go ahead and talk about just kind of what we saw and contrast, I guess you would say, to game one there. We saw the kind of both teams feeling each other out there. Despite what we speculated, the double hit scan really not doing a lot to shut down this Drogos. Is this model size reduction enough for this character to really just kind of take a commanding position in the meta?
I think the difficulty comes with this, is when Drogos goes up into the air, Drogos is vulnerable, and it was the great adjustment coming out from SnakeySnake to be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to go up into the air. I'm not going to go up into the air and be just sustained up there. I'm going to peek over cover and then go straight back down. Or if I go up into the air, I know that Victor and Androxus can put a lot of pressure on me. So, you know what? Victor's relatively immobile. Let's drop a salvo on Victor. Force him out of the equation for fear of death, and then you only have to deal with Androxus, who also has to deal with the Androxus on your very own team, otherwise they risk being shut down. With the scoreboard currently unavailable, we are going to go to the bracket screen next and just take a look at how the games have changed, and as predicted, Match Point did 2-0 Kings of the North on the top side of the bracket.
There.
Good grief.
On the bottom of our bracket here, we actually have Ardent Frost taking the 2-0 win over Ronin there and moving on to fight Eager in the semifinals.
I am absolutely shocked right here. And Ronin, they made a last-minute roster adjustment as well. I think we've got the full list available by a screenshot. I'll just pull that up for you now so I can take you through it. And indeed, we're going to see that the lineup was, for Ronin, was Kintastic, Madman, Arai or Ori, Matorius, and Shindu. So Matorius, the former Sort player who was on Saw Gaming and Kungana before their sponsor, the second overall team at DreamHack Founders Tournament player, commonly known for his pip, actually unable to help drive his team to victory right there versus what has been known as the weaker team out of the Ardent grouping for a long, long time.
Yeah, not a player that I've casted before, but I was excited to see his comeback. I know he was on such that dominant team before I came into the scene, but it does look like I've actually been able to pull up the scoreboard here, Vox, if you had the same experience. So yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so yeah, looking over SnakeySnake, yeah, he led his team in damage once again there. But for me, like Prylor with these, just hitting these two huge ultimates, these two King Bombs were so key. Despite him not doing a ton of damage edgewise in the game there, he really kind of came through in the clutch there to just shut down any take-back momentum that they would have had.
I'm in two minds about this. I actually think the Beacon throughout the game was the most consistent team. It appears that the win for Ardent Ascendance came through not just on the back of Bacon 5-0 and kickerbs with the damage right there with the two reliable carries, but also a great degree of chance and a betting game, a gambling game that those king bombs would work. Because if that clutch king bomb defense and that clutch king bomb triple right at the end
Yeah.
didn't go off, Prylor was
Those,
focused down and
yeah.
shut down appropriately, then it would have been curtains. And honestly, with Elocxle being the lowest scored player on the side of Beacon, with everybody else breaking 2,000 credits, 2,200 credits, it feels like perhaps with maybe the Androxus playing up a little bit more than they did so, it would have gone a completely different way. Something was certainly missing there with 49,000 damage on the scoreboard for an Andro with their buffed attack speed. That's a little unusual.
I'm totally with you. That could have gone very differently had those king bombs not found the value that they had. But regardless, GG's to both teams. It will be Ardent Ascendance headed off to face off against Matchpoint in the semifinals. But I believe we're going to be spectating Eager and Ardent Frost. Is that correct, Box?
That is correct. Both Ardent teams going to be showcased today, and we're very excited, as we have mentioned, to see how Eager have adapted to the new meta. We know that Bitey on Grok will be relatively unstoppable, having phenomenal tracking, and all that time and effort that Jake B put into Victor, well, we'll see if it pays off in dividends. Either way, that'll wrap things up from us for now. GG to both teams, as you said, and we'll see you back with the semi-finals action after this break.